Well, good morning, everybody. We are on the Juniper Springs Run this morning. It's about 10:30. We had to go drop off a vehicle down at the Juniper Wayside where you take out. Did that. Had breakfast, some coffee, and just got prepared for this little journey. So we're going to take you down Juniper Springs Run here in the Juniper Wilderness area, the Ocala National Forest. Some beautiful water, crystal clear. Just a great day. I think it was about 50 something degrees last night, so it was great sleeping in the Ember. Can't be but 60 something right now. It's nice out. Turtle. He sees enough people. He's not worried about anybody. He's got his legs resting. Beautiful blue skies, the birds are chirping. So when we arrived last night at camp, the little ranger at the ranger station said there's a little bear cub been wandering through the campground. So they have bear vaults there to put all your food in, bear boxes, bear lockers. So we opted not to put any food in the outdoor refrigerator, the outside kitchen refrigerator, just for that reason. We didn't want to have any issues overnight. So we turned the inverter off, and well, we were happily surprised. We didn't really need the inverter for anything last night. The heater runs without it. The water heater runs without it. The water pump for the bathrooms, the kitchen, everything runs without the inverter. Well, except for the microwave, which we don't use, and obviously any 110 volt plugs. We didn't use anything. So that's great, because that inverter, man, it just sucks down the power. So we're just going to keep it off, and when we need something, we'll turn the inverter on. We woke up this morning to 92% battery, and we had lights on, you know, the water pump. So it was great. And before we left this morning, the sun was charging the batteries up again. So that was a great little find. Turn the inverter off until needed. Now they said there's a tree down about a mile in that we're going to have to get out of the boat and portage the boat over the tree or limb, whatever it might be. There was a tree down last year, but Gina could get under it. She could do like the limbo. I couldn't get that low in my kayak to get under it, so I had to get out of the boat, climb on top of the limb, and then back down in the boat. So we shall see what it looks like. Just beautiful water, though. The springs, it's got a big pool there, you know, swimming area, natural spring. There was probably about 25 people there already. This place gets really busy. I didn't hear you. I do not know that answer. Gina asked how many gallons of water this puts out a day. We researched it last year when we were here, what type of spring it is. It tells you how many gallons it puts out, but I do not remember. Last year we had a spring hopper pass, so there's 5 or 6 different parks here in the Ocala National Forest you can visit with that pass. Kayaking is an extra charge. It's $10 per kayak, and you got to have your own shuttle. So we always bring a second vehicle and go park down at the takeout. And there's no disposable anything allowed on this because of litter. No plastic bottles, cans, no alcohol, Ziploc baggies, none of that stuff. You got to put your food, if you bring lunch, in like Tupperware containers or whatever you call those, food saver containers. So here the water's getting a little brown. You can see from the leaves turning a little tannic color. Starting to move now. It's got a lot of water pressure pushing us right now. Yeah, the left side, you got the tannic color water from the leaves. The right side, it's moving so quick it doesn't have time to change colors, I guess. One of the best parts is up ahead. There is some whitewater here, and of course it depends on how much rain you've had recently to how rough they are. Last time we came, it's been about a year since we've been here. I think it was Memorial Day last year, maybe. It was some nice water. Nice white water. So this is where the tree's down. This is where you want to make sure your wallet's out of your pocket. Deep hole. I saw a dude step off in it. Here, why don't you let me hold this? Can you put this in there for me before we go any further? The water is very cold. It's like 70 degrees or colder, I'm not sure. Good? You want to let go? I'm just gonna try to lift up here. Easy now, easy now. Got that?
Yeah.
They say some walked around. So, whew, that's deep.
Yeah, just quite a bit deep right there.
All right, so we made it through that. We'll resume our little journey here. I'm gonna let Gina go back ahead of me. Juniper Prairie Wilderness, Ocala National Forest. We are now entering it. So we did a backpacking trip last year, and I think we were here in February. We hiked in about, I think, 4 or 5 miles into the wilderness, backpacked everything. We had our little stove, little jet boil stove, some backpacker meals, snacks. We have a water purification system, the Guardian, so we were able to get water from the hidden pond area. And we hiked in, set up camp, stayed for 2 nights, and then hiked back out. It was quite the experience. That's where we saw some very large piles of bear scat. So we know there's some big black bears in these woods. Yeah, the first night we got here, we actually got here late that time. And it was almost dark, so we didn't hike in that far. Actually, we might have went about a mile in, got up on top of a ridge, nice sandy spot, and we set up there. Then we got up in the morning and hiked back to Hidden Pond area. Yeah, I forgot we got here late that night. Yeah, I think we carried about 25 or 30 pounds of gear. By then we had dialed in a little bit. Man, the first few trips we went on, we'd carry 40 pounds each. It was rough. Then we got lighter backpacks. Started going a little bit lighter. You pack your fears, so I always had a bunch of food. Gina always had a bunch of water. It was a beautiful day out today. There's where the ground gets real high. Here's a little restricted area. You can see the beautiful blue water coming out. There's a cabin up there. It's a lottery system to be able to rent the cabin. Checked it out last year on the Gaia GPS map. I was like, where does that go? So it goes back to a cabin. It's a lottery system. You play the lottery. You get lucky enough, you can rent the thing for a week. It's got a little spring up there. So, Sweetwater Cabin it's called. So we made it back. Gina making some more naan bread on the volcano. We just got back from the kayak trip. The doggies are chilling out here, taking up a little sun. And so, also this time I brought my Goal Zero. It's the Venture 30. This is actually the Nomad 10. Venture 30, I guess, was a little package, but a little solar panel. Small solar panel that we bought when we were backpacking. So it's good for charging up little small stuff. I've got the GoPro battery charging in the sun. And it also comes with a little 10,000 milliamp battery bank that hooks up to it. So here's this is the Venture 30. So it's a little 10,000 milliamp battery pack. I like it. It's got a flashlight. It's a really bright flashlight. Tells you how much battery you got. USB on top, one on the side, and then there's the charging port to charge it. Hook this right up to the solar, and you've got battery power. Just beautiful here. Man. Beauty. And over on this side is another little springs running down into that body of water. Just bubbling, bubbling, bubbling. It's nice little trails coming through the campground. End up over here at the springs. It's an old building built by the CCC. I think it was a civilian construction corps or something. I think it was built back in the 30s. There's a sign over there. We'll get to it. The old water wheel. Pretty cool. A lot of water coming out of those springs. I think the building's closed now. It's been closed the last couple of years every time we come here. And it goes on down, and then not too far down is where we put in the kayaks. It's where the Juniper Springs Run starts. This is the beginning of the water. Civilian Conservation Corps, 1935 and 1936. So the bridge is closed now. I guess the bridge is sinking because of the springs are bubbling up. Oh, there's Mr. Turtle. Oh, there's another turtle over there. This is the springs where everybody comes to swim. Beautiful blue water. 72 degrees year round. Beautiful. Got some bathrooms up there, showers, changing rooms, plenty of places for everybody to swim and have fun. It's pretty empty right now. Most of the time we come here, this place is jam-packed. So this is down here to the kayak launch. So you got to bring your kayaks. They've got some carts. Bring them all the way from the front. Cart them down here. We usually carry them, but today we put them on the cart. Not sure that was such a great idea, but you bring them down here. And this is where they go in. Now you got to be on the water by 12:30 right now. It seems kind of early. It stays light till almost 8 o'clock. I don't know why you have to be here so early, but that's the run. The water coming out of the springs comes down. This is where we started our little journey right here. You can see the water bubbling up over here too, the boils. So it was a great little trip. Some fishes in the water, minnows. There's the map of the run. So it's the area that you pull in here in the morning, do a loop, drop off your kayaks. They've got the carts right here. Bathrooms are right there. Then you head down the trail, put in. Yeah, we were in kind of a hurry this morning. We didn't take time to record. Trying to get on the water. This place gets really crowded. You got to get a parking place. So we'll give you the footage now. They used to rent kayaks and canoes here. These used to be loaded with kayaks and canoes both sides, but once that 2019 thing hit, whew, no more rental kayaks or canoes. You used to be able to put in right over here, and there was a boardwalk that would take you around there, but the boardwalk's in disrepair, so I guess they've closed it for a couple of years now. I guess they're working on it. And this is the little parking lot that we parked the Jeep in this morning. So we're going to get in the Jeep, head back to camp, and we'll see you there. All right. Here's our little boondocking spot in the Juniper Springs campground. Ember rolling on solar power. That's a nice little campsite. Not much solar, but we didn't use much either since we've turned that inverter off. Man, we don't burn nearly the power that we used to. Ember Defenders. Hello. So it is a nice little spot here though. Right on the edge of the woods. I mean, you've got people across the street. It's not like you're isolated, but nice little spot. Got plenty of woods back here behind us. And one thing we like about this campsite was it was very quiet. When quiet time hit, it was quiet. Last weekend over at Alexander Springs, those people, they were singing until 1 o'clock in the morning. But this has been a great little spot. We're getting some sun this afternoon. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not charging up pretty good. Let me go see where we're at. And it only dropped to 92% overnight. We didn't burn anything. We're at 96, so yeah, it's putting it back in there. Little by little. It's discharging right now, 5 watts, but yeah, it was huge by turning off the inverter. Because what we found out is the inverter, you only need it for the plugs, pretty much, the microwave, this refrigerator, but the hot water heater, the furnace, the water pump, all the lights, I mean, everything runs just off the battery power, so we don't even need the inverter. And Monday we take it back to go get our refrigerator. the 12-volt refrigerator put inside. So only time we needed to turn on the inverter was when Gina went to go mix up her shake this afternoon, and that burned up less than 1 amp hour. So we're figuring it out little by little. So we're on the Florida Trail. You can hear the traffic on Highway 40 from here. We're about to enter the Juniper Prairie Wilderness area here momentarily. We hiked this trail last February. It was February 1st, and it was like 93 degrees. I couldn't believe how hot it was. February, 93. Oh yeah, here's your water source right here. Get your water purifier out. You never find too many places with water on this trail going south. I think it's about 13 miles to the next spot. We got a little video clip I'm going to get Gina to put in there. We found one little hole with water on that 93 degree day. And we got the water out of it. It wasn't much. It was like a mud puddle. But we found some water. Recording. Want us to go ahead? Orange Blaze, Florida Trail. Looks nice here, the shade, all the little saw palmettos. Cooled off. It's getting pretty warm back there. So here we are, the Juniper Prairie Wilderness. So the campground does have a nice little dump station over here, which we will visit on the way out. There's the Ember. Oh yeah. That's the tree I was worried about last night. You can see a few people have scarfed it up. Had orange paint, so I was swinging wide. Gina says, "Oh, you got one?" Oh, but didn't want to hit the tree. All right, we are back, and it feels good to be back. It's a nice little spot. I'm happy with our little campsite here. Boondocking in a campground, you know, that pretty much just means that you don't have power and water, so doesn't mean you don't have neighbors. How many miles did we do, babe?
2.2.
2.2 miles. All right, we got some exercise in. Little dog is over there panting. She's glad to be back. Harley's laying down. Nice, good doggy. I'm glad to be back too, and we are going to focus on some meal prep.